Hey buddy, I heard you were having some trouble with your Texas history exam, and you were having a tough time studying for it. Is that true? Yeah. You've got Professor Harris, right? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I had him last semester. Yeah, I did. I didn't think that the class was too hard. This is, this exam had some tricky questions in it for sure. The one that you're studying for, I don't know if you know this or not, he hasn't changed the answers to that test in like 10 years. So I'm pretty sure that all the questions that I had on my exam are the same ones that you're studying for now. I thought that if you're okay with it, would you let me help you study for your exam? Yeah, that'd be a big help for you. Okay, good. That's awesome. Well, I brought my note cards from when I was studying. I know it's helpful for me. I'll go through note cards. I've got the question on one side, answer on the other, and I'll go through it all and do it several times, and that usually does the trick for me. So maybe I'll go through these note cards and I'll ask you the questions, and then you can tell me the answer, and I'll help you that way. Okay. Cool. And if you have any other questions about the answers on the note card, maybe we can talk about it. Yeah. Does that sound good? Okay, cool. So there's about 40 note cards in here. I'm gonna just kind of shuffle them up real quick, just to kind of randomize them a little bit. Let's see here. Looks pretty randomized. Okay. So, I'll read them off, and then you tell me what the answer is, okay? So, here's the first one, right? Which Mexican leader was known as the Napoleon of the West? I know it's Mexican, but, Mexico and Texas are quite close. The Napoleon of the West. Yeah, Santa Anna. That's right, Santa Anna. Do you know his full name? It's Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. That would be his full name. I'm just going to put these down. It's easier that way. Okay. Why was Sam Houston removed as Texas governor after Texas seceded? Yeah, that's right. He refused to support the Confederacy. It's a good man right there. Sam Houston was awesome. Okay. What year did the Battle of the Alamo take place? Not quite. You're in the right ballpark, though. So it's 1836. 1836, that's when the Battle of the Alamo took place. Who was the legendary frontiersman and lawyer died at the Alamo. You know who that was? Yeah, Davy Crockett. Davy Crockett. Man, these are all over the place. What year did the Johnson Space Center open in Houston? Yeah, this was one of the harder ones for me. Not quite. Try again. Yeah, okay, well, it's 1961. If it's recent, it's harder for me, for sure. Okay, this would be easy. What is the Texas state bird? Yep, mockingbird. Very good. Not the mockingjay. Although Hunger Games is pretty awesome. What European country was the first to settle and claim part of Texas? Close, it was the other one. There were several. Yeah, Spain. That's right. Spain. Okay. In what year did Texas become part of the newly independent Mexico? Yeah. Dates are tough, man. They really are. Okay, it was 1821. 1821. Yeah, you remember that Texas was originally it was part of, Native American nations, and then it was part of Spain, and then Mexico fought to gain its independence from Spain, and then Texas fought to gain its independence from Mexico, and then it joined the United States. But yeah, it was part of the newly independent Mexico in 1821. Name 3 major industries in East Texas during World War II. Okay, oil. Yeah, that's one. Aviation. Yeah, there you go. What's one more? Yeah, so it was shipbuilding. Shipbuilding. Aviation, oil, and shipbuilding were 3 of the major industries in East Texas during World War II. Which Texas city, or I guess which city, did Spain settle in 1680? It was quite a while ago. 1680. That's right, yep, El Paso. You got it. The French settled what part of Texas in the mid-1680s? No, not that part. So it was the southeast part of Texas. That's where the French laid their claim to Texas. What Native American nation was dominant in Texas for 100 years? 100 years, a long time. It's one of the big ones. That's right, yeah, Comanche. Comanche. My mom says that she has Comanche blood in her. I think a lot of Texans at least claim that they have Comanche blood in them. I haven't taken a DNA test, so I'm not sure. Okay. During World War II, Texas housed 15% of what population? So it's kind of a trick question. No, it's not German. No, it's not Japanese. So it was the POWs. It was the prisoners of war. 15% of the USA's POWs from the war were housed in Texas. Okay. What year did the city of Austin become the capital of Texas? This one is kind of another trick question. Those are the best, right? Okay, yes, 1839. That was the first time. Do you know what the second time was? Yeah, there was a second time. So 1844 was the other time. So this is what's known as it's like the Archive War or the Texas Archive War. It was basically when Sam Houston, who was the first president of the Republic of Texas, whenever he was the president, there was not a permanent capital. When the second president was elected, who was Mirabeau Lamar, he moved it permanently to Austin, and that was in 1839. And then when Sam Houston was reelected for his second term, and that was after Mirabeau Lamar, Sam Houston moved it to Houston for a time, and there was sort of a skirmish around that happening. People of Austin didn't really want that to happen. They didn't want the state archives to leave Austin to go to Houston. But the capital was it was in Houston for a time, and that was moved back to Austin in 1844. So 1844, 1839, they're both technically correct. It's just, the first time or the second time. Speaking of Austin, what was the original name of the city of Austin? Yep, that's right, Waterloo. Waterloo was the original name of the city of Austin. This should be easy, I hope. What is the Texas state flower? They're everywhere on the highways in the springtime. Yeah, bluebonnets. The bluebonnet. Very pretty. Under the Mexican government, the land contractor who settled colonies in Texas were called what? What was the name of the land contractors who settled colonies in Texas? Yep, impresarios. Very good. Impresarios. What was the deciding battle of the Texas Revolution? No, it's not the Alamo. That was an important one, though. It was the Battle of San Jacinto. That was the battle where the Texan army was finally fully mustered with Sam Houston, and they had a surprise attack of the Mexican army, and they routed them, and their battle cry was, "Remember the Alamo." That fired them up. Who was the author of the letter from the Alamo? Who wrote the letter from the Alamo? Which, there were several, there were quite a few letters. But I believe this letter is about the letter that kind of went out saying, hey, we're in need, we need assistance, we're besieged, we need more troops. Yeah, that's right. William Travis, who was in charge of the Alamo, the garrison at the Alamo. William Travis. Where was the Texas Declaration of Independence signed? give you a hint. It's not the capital. In fact, it's a place where very few people live now. But at the time, it was a bustling city. No. It was Washington on the Brazos. Very pretty place. I love going to the museum there. Where were 400 Texas independence fighters executed? It's a pretty sad story, honestly. Where were they executed? Yeah, that's right, Goliad. That's where they were executed. How many days did the siege of the Alamo last? A little bit more than that. Yeah, 13. 13 days. What woman is known as the mother of Texas? No. Yes, that's it. Jane Long. That's right. Jane Long is known as the mother of Texas. Who was the first president of Texas? We talked about that a minute ago. Yeah, Sam Houston. How could you forget Sam Houston? What a great guy. What is the Texas state motto? It's really short. Yep, friendship. That's right, friendship. It's not really a motto, I don't know why that is, but... Okay, what is Texas's only natural lake? I did not know this one either. No. No, not that one either. It's Cato Lake. That is Texas's only natural lake, Cato Lake. Okay, which Six Flags have flown over Texas? This is where the theme park, Six Flags, gets its name from. Okay, yes. Mexican. And Texan. Okay, yes. American. Remember we just talked about one of the European countries. Spanish. Yep. What was the other European country? Okay, yep. French. And then the last one. It's not a good one. Nope. Yes, that's it. The Confederate flag. Spanish, French, Mexican, Texan, Confederate, and American flags have all flown over Texas. The Six Flags of Texas, as they're called. What officially ended the Texas Revolution? Well, San Jacinto was the last major battle, the deciding battle. But what was the official end? Yeah, the Treaty of Velasco. That's right. Very good. What notorious event occurred in Texas on November 22nd, 1963? It's kind of throws you through a loop because it's way after all those other questions. History, on a timeline, that is. It happened in Dallas, I'll tell you that. Yeah, JFK was assassinated in Dallas in 1963. What war began shortly after Texas was annexed to the United States? The war actually started because Texas was annexed to the U.S. remember that. Okay, yeah. It's the compromise of what year? No. Yes, 1850. The compromise of 1850. Okay. What was the date that Texas became a state of the USA? What was the day and the year? Do you remember? Yeah, it was 1845. Do you know what the day was? What the date was? So it was December 29th, 1845. Do you know which state, what the number, what the order of, I can't even know how to phrase a question. Which number state was Texas in the United States? So it was the 28th state to join the United States. What years did the Republic of Texas exist? It's actually not very long. We just talked about when it joined the United States. Yeah. So it was, right, okay, so 1845, that's when it ended. When did it begin? Think about the Alamo. When did the Alamo happen? That's right, 1836 to 1845 is when the Republic of Texas existed. Not very long at all. Who was the last president of Texas? No, not Sam Houston. No, it wasn't Lamar. So it was Anson Jones. That was the last president of Texas. Where was the first battle of the Texas Revolution fought? It's a classic one. Gonzales, that's right. But they had that cannon, and they didn't want Mexico to take it because they were defending themselves against Native Americans and other people that they were defending themselves against. What natural disaster destroyed Galveston, Texas on September 8th, 1900? It also demolished like a ton of the state. It was a bad one. Hurricane, that's right. It was very, very bad. Which three rivers form part of Texas's boundaries? The boundaries of Texas are defined by, in part, by these three rivers. The Rio Grande, very good. The Red River, good. And what's the third one? So it's the Sabine River. The Sabine River is the river on East Texas. That's the one that separates Texas from Louisiana. The Rio Grande is on the south part of Texas. That's what separates Texas and Mexico. And then the Red River is in North Texas. I think it separates. Oh man, you're gonna test my knowledge now. Oklahoma, maybe, and Texas. That could be wrong. I don't know. Hope it's not on your quiz. List 3 Civil War battles fought in Texas. I'm looking at it because I don't know. I couldn't remember either. Battle of Galveston, very good. It was one of the rivers that we just talked about. Sabine Pass, the Battle of Sabine Pass, yeah. What was the third one? Yeah, the Battle of Palmito Ranch. Very good. What was the name of the impresario who pleaded the Texans' case before the Mexican Congress in 1833? What was his name? Very famous guy, at least in Texas. Stephen F. Austin. Very good. What was the response from the defenders of the Gonzales Cannon? Remember, that was the first battle of the Revolution. Come and take it. That's right. Come and take it. It's hard to forget that one. Okay, very good. So, why don't I'm going to shuffle these up again, and then we'll do them one more time as fast as we can. I'll be our lightning round, and then I think you should be good. Okay, so let me shuffle them up again. It's hard to shuffle these note cards. I'll do a few more. All right. Okay. This is our lightning round. Let's see how quickly we can do them, okay? Who was the last president of Texas? Anson Jones, very good. What years did the Republic of Texas exist? 1836 to 1845, very good. What was the date that Texas became a state of the United States? December 29th, 1845, very good. What set the borders of Texas at their current locations? That's right, the Compromise of 1850. What war began shortly after Texas was annexed to the United States? Mexican-American War, very good. What year did the Battle of the Alamo take place? 1836, very good. What natural disaster destroyed Galveston, Texas on September 8th, 1900? Hurricane. What notorious event occurred in Texas on November 22nd, 1963? Assassination of JFK, very good. What Native American nation was dominant in Texas for 100 years? Comanche, good. What officially ended the Texas Revolution? Treaty of Alaska, very good. What European country was the first to settle and claim parts of Texas? Spain, yep. Very good. Which Six Flags have flown over Texas? Okay. Yep. Spanish, French, Texan, American, Mexican, and Confederate. Very good. What is Texas's only natural lake? The Caddo Lake. Very good. What is the Texas state motto? Friendship. Who was the first president of Texas? Sam Houston. Very good. Which Texas city did Spain settle in 1680? El Paso. Nice. What woman is known as the mother of Texas? No, not her. Jane Long. Yes, very good. How many days did the siege of the Alamo last? 13. What was the response from the defenders of the Gonzales Cannon? Come and take it. That's right. Which Mexican leader was known Southeast, very good. Where were 400 Texas independence fighters executed? Goliad, good. Which three rivers form part of Texas's boundaries? The Rio Grande, the Red River, and the Sabine, good. Where was the first battle of the Texas Revolution fought? Gonzales, good job. Where was the Texas Declaration of Independence signed? Washington on the Brazos, very good. Who was the legendary frontiersman and lawyer who fought and died at the Alamo? Davy Crockett. Didn't even have to finish reading the question. List 3 Civil War battles fought in Texas. Battle of Galveston, yep. Battle of Palomino Ranch. Battle of Sabine Pass, good. Who was the author of the letter from the Alamo? William Travis. What was the deciding battle of the Texas Revolution? Battle of San Jacinto, good. Why was Sam Houston removed as Texas governor after Texas seceded? That's right, he refused to support the Confederacy. What is the Texas state bird? The mockingbird, good job. What year did the Johnson Space Center open in Houston? 1961, very good. Under Mexican government, the land contractor, the job of a land contractor who settled colonies in Texas, yes, were called the impresarios, very good. Name 3 major industries in East Texas during World War II. Aviation, oil, and shipbuilding, good. Shipbuilding. In what year did Texas become part of the newly independent Mexico? 1821. Whew, man, you're good. That was a hard one. What was the name of the impresario who pleaded the Texans' role, or their case rather, who pleaded their case before Mexican Congress in 1833? Yes, Stephen F. Austin. Dropping all my cards now. There we go. Okay, what year did the city of Austin become the capital of Texas? Okay, yes, 1839, that was the first one. Do you know what the second one was? 1844, very good. During World War II, Texas housed 15% of what population? POWs, very good. What is the Texas state flower? The blue bonnet, good job. And last one, what was the original name of the city of Austin before it became the capital? Waterloo, good job. Well, you know, I think you got all those right. Well, you know, it looks like that helped you a lot. You know, I definitely remember taking the test and feeling okay about it. Not great, but then I got my grade after and it was fine. So I'm sure the same will be of you as well. I mean, it sounds like you know it all. You just said all the answers to me for that. There's probably a couple other questions that aren't on that, but most of those are on the exam. So I think that should get you covered. You might read again the chapter that he mentioned, chapter 9. Yeah, you might reread that one again just to make sure, since it's the one that was the farthest away from the exam. You know, it happened a while back. Just to refresh your memory, you might go back and read through chapter 9. But otherwise, yeah, I think you'll be okay. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, no problem. I'm glad I could come and help. Let me know if you need me to help you later on in the class, or if you have any other classes, other history classes you need help with, because I really enjoy history. It's a hobby of mine, learning about history. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's neat. It's fun. Yeah. Okay, well, hey, I gotta head out. But good luck on your exam. I know you're gonna do great. And I'll see you later. Okay, let's grab a drink or something later on.